Hi there, it's Kathleen here again, and welcome to the Pinkfresh Studio Watercolor video hub. And as you can see, I have all of the gorgeous watercolors by Pinkfresh Studio on my desk. And my thought for this layout was that I wanted to use this paper right here with this black and white pattern, which basically screams or calls for watercoloring it or coloring it in, and especially because I'm not a watercolor pro or expert, I thought that this was a good way to get started because, you know, I already have the images, I only need to paint them. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing. I have two photos selected and I was just playing around with the different, so I have two pieces of that paper left and I was trying to figure out which one to use. And yeah, so what I'm thinking now is that before I go ahead with the page design itself, I want to actually paint part of that pattern to see how it looks. And you can see I only added 1 to 2 drops of some of the colors in my palette here, and that's actually more than enough. You can see I even add water and the color is still super bright and vibrant, so you don't need a lot of the color to have a really bright color on your paper. You actually might need to water it down a lot more. So I think these bottles will probably last me a lifetime. So the colors I used are, the yellow is called Sunshine, the orange is Clementine, the pink is called Bubblegum, red is Candy Apple, and then I used, for the leaves, I used Emerald City and Aquamarine. Yeah, and I think that these colors match my photos really well, and they were the bright summery tropical feel that I was going for. Or not tropical, but you know, really bright and yeah, just screaming summer. And I matted my photos, or I'm playing around, but right now I have them matted on 2 of the frames, of those stitched frames, and they've been part of a few of the collections from Pinkfresh Studio now, and I really like them. I often use them as layering pieces, not really as frames, but you can do whatever you want. So you can see that I fussy cut my colored images out because, I don't know, the paper strip where I had colored the images didn't really work for me on the page. So I decided to just cut them out and use them to make some clusters, which is, you know, whenever you get stuck with a page design or you don't really have an idea what to do, I feel like creating clusters, especially with flowers or floral images, is super easy and always makes for great results, and yeah, it just always looks nice, I think. So yeah, here I'm having a look at what I could do with these pieces, and that's basically also what my page is going to look like. I mean, a lot fuller, but I will keep the photos in that place, matted on that pink frame. And now I'm just painting more and more of the paper and cutting more pieces out, because clearly I didn't have enough, because I wanted to have a really big cluster around my 2 photos, like more of a, like they were yeah, I don't know what you would call it, bedded on these flowers. And here you can see I actually cut up the yellow frame because I only wanted this, yeah, this border on the top of my photos, and I didn't want to waste the whole frame. So this is why I just cut off the part that you wouldn't see, so I can use it on another project later on. Now I'm just adding some foam tape behind my photos to raise them up a little bit, give them some dimension, and also to be able to tuck some of the floral pieces behind the photos a little bit, and because I'm only adhering the cluster elements on the lower part of the element itself, I don't know how to explain it, or the inner part, I want to be able to lift them up, so that's why I needed the photos to be more dimensional, or more, yeah, stand out more, because I think they would get lost if everything else was dimensional but only the photos were flat. And I'm using some liquid glue here to adhere the pieces because I have some clear gesso on my white cardstock. That's also why it's rippled a little bit, because when I began creating this layout, I wasn't sure where I was going to add the watercolors, so I just, you know, wanted to make sure that I would have the possibility to add some watercolor on my cardstock directly later on. So yeah, that's why I'm not using my tape runner, which I normally use, because clear gesso or rather tape runners and things like that just don't work with clear gesso, or gesso in general. So first of all, sorry for the lighting, I don't know what happened here. So yeah, now I'm just watering down some of the colors a little bit. So I added one more drop to my palette, and I'm using my brush, my paintbrush, and some water to water the paint down and just splatter it onto my page. And I really like the look of that. I often use mists for that, but watercolors are perfect as well. And here you can see, so here I was thinking of adding my title with this die, and that's a paper where I had tested some of the colors. So this is actually what some of the colors look like on a bigger scale, and you can see how vibrant they were. So I cut out the love from the pink orangish part of that paper, and that was watercolor paper, and I used the wet on wet technique, so that's why the colors were really blended into each other. But I'm going to decide against this title actually. So I'm adding some enamel dots because, I mean, why not? I just like the look of them. And yeah, then I think that this page needs at least a small cluster somewhere else, and that bottom part of the layout seemed perfect for it. So I have this yellow tag that is from one of the papers, I think it's paper G or H, can't remember right now, and this black chipboard sticker that says "Looking for an escape from the ordinary," which I thought was perfect. Adding in an epoxy sticker that says "Joyful," which also repeats the black again from the enamel dots and this chipboard sticker. Here I have also added my title, but I will change the title later on off camera. Now I thought that because I already had the clear gesso on my cardstock, I thought that I wanted to add some more watercolor on the cardstock itself. So I'm just going around the edges of my cluster, and using the rest of the paint in my palette, I'm going to add a thin, like a frame around it. And I'm using a color. So for example, around the lemon, I'm using pink. Around a pink flower, I would use yellow or orange, so that I don't have the same color right next to each other. So yeah, off camera, I only add a few more pieces, change the title, and then that's it. That's my final layout. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have fun on the video hop. Of course, there's something to win. Because I'm going on vacation, I had to finish this video a lot earlier. I don't have a giveaway graphic or anything in here, but check for the details and everything down below in the details box, in the description box, and yeah, definitely make sure to join in to win some pretty awesome prizes. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye.